Hello everyone, welcome to episode 7 of Euchre 101. In this show, I will be giving you tips on when you should and should not play a hand alone. I'll give scenarios in regular Euchre and bid Euchre where it is a good idea to try and when you should bring your partner in so you can maximize your point earnings. There are times when you have great cards in your hand and you might want to play alone. With Euchre 101, where I give you tips on winning Euchre, I'll show you hands where there is a great chance for success. I'll show you hands where you have enough cards to take a chance and go for 4 points. I will also show you hands where you should swallow your pride and bring your partner along for the ride. First, we'll look at the trump cards in the deck. I will show you the cards you need in order to play alone. We'll start with the must-have card. To play alone, you must have the right bower. That's the only must-have card. If you don't have the highest card in the deck, your chances of taking all 5 tricks drop significantly. Now I'll talk about the should-have cards in the trump suit. On your screen right now is the trump cards in a hand. I separated the cards this way because the top 4 cards are what I want to focus on. We already know that you need the right bower. With the other 3 cards, you will need at least one of these. It is preferable if you have 2 of them. The bottom 3 cards, the Queen, 10, and 9, are also cards you should have. In my estimation, you should have at least one of these cards as well. The philosophy is that the more trump you hold, the less there is in your opponent's hands. You can't always have 5 trump cards, so your offsuit cards should be significant. Aces and kings are a minimum for good loner tries. You could try with a queen for offsuit, but I wouldn't attempt a loner with anything lower than a queen. Here's a scenario where you have enough cards to play alone. Your partner is the dealer, which is another advantage because there will be one less trump card to worry about being in your opponent's hands. You order your partner and decide to go alone. Let's see how it goes. You didn't take all 5 tricks. One of your opponents had a guarded left bower. What that means is that when you have the left bower of the trump suit, along with another trump card, you are holding a guarded left bower. In any event, you took enough tricks to avoid a euchre. This goes to show that even when you have enough cards to try a loner, doesn't mean that you will always score 4 points. That doesn't mean you shouldn't try. There are certain situations when you should play a hand alone in almost every instance. You won't always succeed, but your hand is significant enough to give it a try. The worst case scenario is that you will score a point. However, there is a decent chance that you might score 4 points. Any hand you have where you have the opportunity to make trump and you hold the right bower, left bower, and the ace, you should go alone. The reason is that you have a guaranteed point in your hand. Is it possible that you could score 2 points if you play with your partner? Yes. Well, you should try for 4 points. You never know when your hand is stronger than you think. The offsuit you hold in this situation doesn't matter. Here's a hand where you play alone with the top 3 trump cards and your offsuit is low. Well, how about that? You got lucky and your opponents did not have the cards to take your low offsuit. That doesn't happen often, but it is definitely great when it does. You never know how a hand is going to play out, so go ahead and give it a shot when you have the big three. I'm going to show you some hands and see if you can guess if I would recommend playing it alone. Here we go. Now we'll talk about situations when you should not play a hand alone. I covered the first situation with Commandment 6 in the last episode. Never go alone when you have 8 or 9 points. Never, 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 ever. Another scenario where you shouldn't try to go alone is when you do not have the right bower. You could be holding 5 trump cards. If the right bower isn't one of them, then you probably won't score 4 points. You might as well keep your partner in the game. The only proviso for this is if the right bower is turned up and your partner is the dealer. You can order your partner and then play alone in that case. For bid euchre, you are more under a microscope than you are when playing regular euchre. The reason is because there are only 6 cards in your partner's hand, where the cards that can beat you must be in order to be successful. In regular euchre, you have your partner's hand and the kitty, which is a total of 9 cards, where your stoppers could be. When trying a little bid, you need to have a lot of trump cards and high offsuit. At least 3 of your trump cards need to be in the big 4. Your offsuit should be an ace. The card you pass to your partner can be any other card in the deck. It really doesn't matter because you aren't using it. The hand you see here has a good chance of success provided that your partner's best is also a trump card. If your partner gives you a card that is either a trump or, if he or she doesn't have a trump, a high offsuit card, your chances are good that you will score 12 points. The only way you won't is if all of the remaining trump is in the same hand. When you try a big bid, you are completely on your own. You must hold the cards in order to get 6 tricks with no help. I recommend that you have every one of the big 4 trump cards. In my opinion, if you are missing one of the big 4, then you should have 2 of the lower 3 trumps in order to compensate. Your offsuit must be either an ace with 5 trumps or an ace-king of the same suit with 4 trump cards. Anything less than that will probably cost you 24 points. When playing alone with a no trump bid, whether that bid is little or big, you need to have a lot of 1 suit or aces and kings of 2 or 3 suits. The hands I am showing you are excellent examples of a successful big hand. And we have reached the end of another episode. Feel free to leave a comment on the Euchre 101 videos and let me know if these lessons have helped you be a better euchre player. Give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. You'll be that much closer to being a great euchre player. Until next time, where I'll talk about ways to speed up the game, take care everyone.